Good evening. Can you hear me? Good evening, everyone. So I assume it's 8 o'clock in Dubai, correct? I'm based here in Beirut. This is Marc, and it's 6 o'clock here. Today we're going to talk about mind over meds, mind over medication. So this is not a new topic, but we're going to address it honestly, directly. And I will give you some steps, actually 5 steps, for you to learn how to heal yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, holistically, just using frequencies or your high vibrations, or just using the mind if you want. The mind is not in the head, the mind is in the whole body, correct? So just a couple of rules first. If you have any questions, please write them, chat with me. Okay, so I don't feel I'm talking to the computer. And I can see that Munira is here, Anu is here, but I don't know who else is here. So please feel free to ask any questions whatsoever related to the topic. And of course, this topic is today or tonight is only an introduction. So there are many levels of this topic. There's level 1, level 2, level 3. I'll tell you a little about that. So without any further ado, let me make sure Pia is here and we can start. Yeah, it's 6:01, so we can start. All right. So mind over meds. What does that mean? Question, can your mind heal your body? Can your mind heal those emotions that are like children? Can your mind potentialize the emotions such as fear, anger, guilt, stress, sadness, loneliness, boredom, attachments, and addictions? Can you think your way out of it? Can you change your patterns of stinking thinking? Can you change your beliefs? Of course. And it's not as difficult as you might think. For hypnotists, effective hypnotists, it's easy. I still teach hypnotherapy, by the way. And we go into a level of suggestibility that's called, let's say, hypnotic somnambulism, where you can change pretty rapidly certain limiting beliefs and other patterns of behaviors and other attachments. You know, for example, the need for attention, for control, for security, to be unique, to be one, feel one with this group, or, you know, all these are attachments, playing the victim, playing the perfectionist, or whatever it is. My point is this, I'm going to give you 5 steps for you to be able to heal yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. All right? So a word on medication first. Some meds are wonderful, are effective. Most of the time, we are over-medicated. Most of the time, the medications do not address the cause of the dis-ease, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, or spiritual. Most of the times, there are side effects, or what we call secondary effects from the medication. I believe in a holistic program. Sometimes medication is very effective, but in our modern day, I think we're over-medicated, and we're not relying too much on the personal power we have within. All right? So, hi Marianne, good evening. So please feel free to chat with me, of course. When I talk about meds that are maybe overly used, I'm talking about antibiotics. We know that essential oils can be used instead of antibiotics a lot of times. Antibiotics have resistance problems and other problems. Okay. Statin drugs, for cholesterol, for example. Sometimes too much. Okay. I'm talking about antihistamines. I'm talking about steroids. I'm talking about inflammatory drugs, anti-inflammatory drugs, sorry. I'm talking about psychiatric medication for adults or children. I'm talking about anti-hypertensive drugs. I'm talking about medications for diabetes. A lot of times, these drugs are not needed, believe it or not. So let's talk about this. Another question I want to address. Do you believe miracles, quote unquote miracles, happen? Of course, they happen every day. People who were supposed to die in 6 months of cancer did not. And all of a sudden, didn't have any remissions or healed. This happens on a daily basis around the globe. And I believe that you have the power to heal yourself if you're conscious. So, having said that, I don't think that most of the people on the planet are conscious. I don't know if you agree on this. Let me see some of your responses so far. So I feel I'm talking to somebody who's human, besides the guides that are here. So Mariam, Munira, who else? Okay. So like I said, drugs are being overused. People are over-medicated in general. And what I'm going to talk about are the 5 steps to be able to heal yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, holistically again. Okay. So the first step is to reprogram your stinking thinking. I used to be a corporate trainer, sales trainer, more than 34 years ago. So, I picked up some verbiage from the trainers like Zig Ziglar, who used to talk about stinking thinking or limiting thinking or patterns of thinking that do not empower you. So the first thing we want to do is to reprogram our stinking thinking, our negative and unconscious beliefs with higher spiritual beliefs. Yeah, of course, I would say that, Maria. Yeah, we're all on the path, it's just that we're at different levels. Some people are in kindergarten, some people are in the 10th grade, and some people are graduated, and some people are postgraduates, etc. So we're all on the same path. Remember who you are, okay? So what I'm trying to say here is that you're not your physique, you're not your thoughts, you're not your emotions. You are the awareness that is aware of all that. So if you start, some of you know this, some of you maybe don't, but if you connect with your awareness or your higher self, then you basically solve the problem. But let's go into detail. Let me go slowly here. I'll tell you what, spiritual beliefs are vibrating at a much higher frequency than limiting beliefs. It's just that easy. So once you know who you are, capital A, everything changes. How to get there? It's not as difficult as you might think. A lot of people are ready for this. Okay. There's so much illness surrounding us these days. This is from Wellbeing, from Anu. Yeah. Cancer, digestive, how to keep the mind confident that nothing will happen and we'll be safe and healthy, especially as we grow older and do not want to go for surgery and medications. That's exactly what I'm going to talk about today. Anu, thanks for the question. So the first thing you do is realize that any excess emotion, any excess of fear, anger, guilt, stress, sadness, loneliness, and boredom can cause dis-ease. I know people who have had strokes because they had too much anger. I know people had so much fear they developed a cancer. I know people who have had such guilt that they actually punished themselves unconsciously and got sick. You see, it's time for us to work in a holistic way. The doctors, surgeons are wonderful, but some of them are not trained in the psyche or how to deal with the psyche or or trained in, you know, on how to change and shift consciousness or frequencies. So Anu is asking me who I am. Well, who you are and who I am, capital A, is spiritual beings first and foremost, living an earthly experience. Why? To remember, re-member with God, to remember who we are and manifest our divinity here and now, this duality. So if you really know who you are, my friend, you are the awareness that is aware of the thoughts. You are the awareness that is aware of the symptom. You are the awareness of this and that. That's who you really are. So once you know that you're a spiritual being first and foremost, if you know it as a knowing, then 99.9% of your problems have just disappeared. But the thing is, people have different belief or depths of belief. Some people believe and they know in their heart they're a spiritual being and act it. Some people forget. They're in and out. And some people have no clue who they are. I'm just here to show you and share with you some information that has helped me become somewhat serene and peaceful no matter what. Do I make mistakes? Of course I make mistakes. Of course sometimes I get sad and mad. Yeah, but I catch myself a lot faster. That's the difference. So anyway, so having said that, you are what you believe. You are, or you become, what you mostly think about. And in that vibration, let's say, if you're vibrating in fear, you're going to attract fear. If you're vibrating in anger, you're going to attract, negative situations and people. It's normal to understand this. This is one of the basic laws. Some people call it the law of attraction, but it's still misunderstood until today. So again, you want to change your patterns of thinking and replace them with higher patterns of thinking, spiritual or transpersonal thinking. So if you check out my website, marcmallet.com, you'll see a book that I wrote, Be Focused, Fearless, and Aware. In the first section, there are 3 sections only, it's a small book. In the first section, you can get an example of how you can change your limiting beliefs. Okay, so your limiting beliefs and your patterns of thinking. Your patterns of thinking are very conscious. For most people, they understand they're thinking this way. But sometimes it's a little trickier. You want to go deep into the psyche and find out what your core beliefs are or your unconscious beliefs are. And this we will do. This is a work, and this will take a little bit more time. Today, it's just an introduction for half an hour. Unless you have a lot more questions, we'll go further to an hour, up to an hour. So first step, reprogram your stinking thinking, your negative beliefs, unconscious and conscious, with higher spiritual beliefs. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. That's step 1, which is crucial. People get healing, get this and that, and they don't change their stinking thinking or their limiting beliefs, and guess what? They get sick again. Well, it's normal. I mean, it's obvious that you're going to attract the vibration you are bathing in. You're going to attract similar vibes from the outside world. Your inner world creates your outer world, correct? So step 1 is that. Reprogram the thinking patterns, and you'll discover them when we do some work one-on-one and change your limiting beliefs to higher spiritual beliefs that are vibrating in higher frequencies. And by the way, this program of 5 steps, you can book with me at Illuminations. I'll be in Dubai on the 5th of March. You can book 3 sessions. You get a package rate on that, just to let you know that we can do this one-on-one. It doesn't have to be a class. So if you take 3 sessions with me, we can go into depth and personalize this program, just so you know before I forget. So step 1, like I said, reprogram those limiting beliefs. For example, I'm not good enough. I cannot make money here in this market. I can't do that. That's about yourself, about relationships, about love, about money. Limiting beliefs are very abundant, okay? And the stinking thinking is very abundant as well. So that's step 1. Step 2 is keep your vibration frequency high, equal to 500 hertz or above. Now, why do I say that? Because again, If you're vibrating in love, it'd probably be very difficult for you to get sick. If you're vibrating in low vibrations such as shame, guilt, apathy, grief, you know, I can give you some examples. For example, the example of shame is you're vibrating at 20 hertz. The example, I have a list here of guilt, which is terrible for you, and there is no place for guilt in spirituality, none whatsoever, no matter what you think you've done. Okay. Guilt is vibrating at 30 hertz, empathy at 50, grief at 75, you know, and there's the whole list. Fear at 100. Hold on 1 second, the screen is gone. Yeah, so like I was saying before we got cut off, shame is at 20, guilt 30, apathy 50, grief 75, fear 100, desire 125, or lust. Let's say anger is at 150 hertz, pride is 175. Pride is a low vibration, by the way, and some of us in the Arab world are really proud that we have a lot of pride. Well, not a high vibration. So you want to, and I'll show you how to do this. It's simple, but it might be difficult. It's difficult for some people, but with practice, nothing is difficult. If there's a will, there's a way. So I'm saying, because I know from experience, not theoretically. I've lived this. Pride 175, courage 200, neutrality 250, willingness 310, acceptance 350. Now we're starting to get into the high vibes. Let's say a reason 400, love 500, joy 540, peace 600. The vibration of peace is higher than the vibration of love. And then enlightenment is 700 plus hertz. Okay, I'll show you how to do this. So that's the second step. Keep your vibration frequency high. So in other words, to keep your frequency high, you have to stop criticizing, judging, blaming, taking things personally. That's an absolute must. There is no way around it. Now, people always have fun and say, Mark, you know, I was not criticizing or judging, I was just observing. Well, if you're observing, there's no intensity to the emotion, is there? Do we make mistakes? Yes, sometimes. Catch yourself more and more rapidly each time. So keep your vibrations high. And how do you do that? Practice gratitude. You should be grateful just because you're above ground, because we have this chance to live in a physical body. Yes, you're going to tell me, but there's pain and there's suffering. Well, I'll tell you what, pain is unavoidable, but suffering is avoidable. You don't need to suffer. You suffer because you're too much in the head. Drop your consciousness into your heart, and I'll show you how again. There might be pain, I won't say no, but you won't suffer. It's a big difference. So again, stop the criticizing, judging, blaming, and do not take anything personally. If you know who you are and what you're doing here, it's pretty easy once you know that. And there's a way to connect with your higher self. Higher self is that part of God that's inside of you, that God-like particle that's inside of you. Your full potential self, your higher self, your divine self, whatever the heck you want to call it. All right. So step one, again, reprogram the limiting beliefs and your thought patterns that are not helping. 2, keep your vibration frequency high. I told you I'll give you a little bit on how to do that. Stop the criticizing, judging, etc. Taking things personally. Okay. We'll talk about states of mind, how to focus on the solution and positive, how to interpret things in a different way, and how to, on the physical level, to cleanse yourself and eat food that has a lot of prana in it, live food, and how to detox. That's in the course, because we can't do everything right now, of course. So step 3, you know, of course, we all share this material, but step 3 I got it from many teachers of mine a long time ago, but lately from, what's his name? Neil Donald Walsh, the author of Conversations with God. Absolutely love the guy. Absolutely love the material. So he talks about being the source of what you would like to receive. So, you know, what goes around comes around. We've heard that many times. If you only have $1 in your pocket, give away a share 25 cents, for example. If you want to receive love, give love. Then some people say, but Mark, I don't love myself. Well, I'm going to show you how. It depends on your beliefs. If we go back to step 1 and what your knowings are, and even if you can't get that, then faith it until you make it. It's about faith. For some people have lived these transpersonal experiences with shamans and with breath work, with plant medicine, ayahuasca, wachuma, vilca, San Pedro. You know, I've worked with shamans for a long, long time. They taught me, they pronounced me, you know, shaman. But the word is very confusing. It sounds pretentious and snobby. So let's just say I'm a shamanic practitioner. And once you connect with your higher self, God, and God's helpers, your guides, your whole life changes. And I've been doing this for over 30 years now. Yeah. So, 1, reprogram limiting beliefs, thinking. 2, keep your vibrations high. I'll show you how. 3, be the source of what you would like to receive. In other words, give and share. And 4, everything is perfect as is. Allow it by supporting whatever is happening in your life with your new thought patterns and beliefs. Now, this is important. Now, even better than that, if you practice presence, then once you're present, because all the sensations in your body are present. If you breathe in and breathe out, you focus on the breath, the sensation going in your nostrils or mouth, or you feel the vibrations. Maybe I'll show you how if we have time. If you feel those vibrations, you're living in the present moment. And who better than Eckhart Tolle or Richard Moss to explain presence? So this has actually saved my life by being present. It has cured me from a bunch of diseases I had. Presence is extremely important. But just remember that everything happens that serves you. Okay? So depending on your level of consciousness. So everything is perfect the way it's been planned in the cosmic plan before you reincarnated or incarnated into your body. Well, guess what? You were in a place of planning your life. You choose your mother, your father, usually the situation, etc., to remember who you are. Now it's up to you to play that role the best you can. We still have free will, but we were and we did decide to come back here and now. So these are spiritual beliefs, and there's nobody more powerful than people who have faith. Nobody more powerful than people who have a strong connection with God. There is no more powerful than that. And I'm going to show you how in a practical way. So, 4, everything is perfect as is. And the practice of presence, if you close your eyes, you can feel the vibrations or the electricity of your body, or the vibrations that give your body life, or else you'd be a piece of roast beef, right? Or steak. But because you're alive, okay, so somebody's asking me a question, how we choose our parents? Well, Mariam, we choose our parents before we incarnate in our body, in the place of planning. So if you have problems with your parents, well, guess what? That's karma. Work it out. Okay? So again, presence is extremely important. In my opinion, it's the basis for everything. Being present is living the present moment. It's about, for example, feeling the vibrations you're feeling in your body, the aliveness of your cells, and always keeping somewhat of your attention inwards. So if I'm talking to you now and I'm feeling some of the vibes inwards, and I'm feeling the vibrations as I talk to you, I'm present. That way I'll make judgments and, well, sorry, not judgments, I'll make decisions based on my consciousness and not on my ego or excess ego. All right, so that's step 4. And step 5, just know that you're not alone, that we're all one. Okay, now this is very important because we were taught that we're separate, and this theory and this concept of being separate from everybody else is what has damaged our lives. This is why we're here now in this period of transformation. This is what polluted Mother Earth and you know, the waters, the earth, the air. It's because we feel we're all separate from one another. And the truth is, we're all cells in a big body of love we call God or Source or Creator. Okay? Now you can go see a therapist and do talk therapy for as long as you want. In general, it's not that effective. But once you go into non-ordinary states or into meditation or into the transpersonal domain, then it becomes a lot more effective. I want to show you this, if you allow me. So again, having said this, these are the 5 steps for you to learn to heal yourself without too many medications that have side effects and that usually do not treat the cause anyway. So, of course, I've had people who have been cured of cancers, people have been cured of all sorts of diseases, you know, using alternative methods and alternative medicine. But the thing is, they're hiding the alternative medicines from us. Yeah, we have great alternative medicines that will heal you, but they're not being allowed to come out into the traditional medicine field. Again, a lot of secrets are being kept from us. So I will show you a lot of those and tell you about those secrets. Some people are not too happy about that because you cannot patent you can't patent nature. And there's no profit maybe that much in it. So Yumna Darwish, hi Yumna. Pride is a low vibration, but what's the line between self-confidence and pride? Because I see that confidence as a piece of pride. Yeah, pride is different than confidence. Okay, so you know the definition. I don't know what definition you have of pride or of confidence. Confidence is being stable and balanced. It's being connected. If you know who you are, you're automatically confident. Pride would be, I was going to say Lebanese style, excuse me, but I'm Lebanese, half American, and you know, sometimes I joke about myself. So I would say that pride has to do with a little bit of showing off, a little bit of ego. All right. So you know, forgive me if I talk about pride in that way, because we've been taught to be proud of ourselves and proud of our sons and daughters. Well, I wouldn't say proud. I would say more happy, serene, content. Okay. So yeah, let's get the pride out. And there's too much ego and pride. Okay, Yumna?
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, I'll be in Dubai on the 4th. I'll be in the office on the 5th of March, and I don't know, 10, 11 days or 12 days. What you can do is book appointments with me. You can talk to June or RJ. You can book appointments, take 3 appointments as a package because you get a discount. And then I'll give you this course in depth and I'll tailor it to your character. So let's say you have a lot of anger. I'll show you how to observe anger until it disappears. Or I'll show you how to transform anger with the EPEC method I have in my book that's on the website. You can download it for free. So, and I will go through these 5 steps, especially for you, tailored to your personality and character and flaws and qualities. And if you are somebody who was committed, disciplined, you will get results. If you listen and practice, I promise you, you will get results. No matter how unconscious or conscious you are, practice will make it happen. And when you go into a non-ordinary state, you can change your beliefs pretty rapidly. When you go into a high vibration of 500 hertz and above, you can change your whole life pretty rapidly. Some people do it pretty easily. Again, some people are just born that way. They're old souls. And some people are having difficulties. That's okay. We're on the same path, all of us. All roads lead to heaven or to self-realization, let's say. All right. All right. So we've been together for half an hour. I'm going to ask you to ask me questions if you have any, and then we'll go from there. Any questions for me? Anything you would like me to clarify about any concepts I've mentioned?
Hi, this is Anu.
Hi, Anu. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm just listening to every single thing you've been saying. Just little explanation on the point number 5 and how that actually would help us, utilize it in our everyday life.
Well, once you know that we're all one, if you hurt somebody else, you're hurting yourself, then your whole behaviors, all of your behaviors will change. If I'm yelling at somebody and hurting somebody else verbally, mentally, physically, whatever, spiritually, I'm hurting myself. So this concept of separation is nonsense. We've been taught to be in competition instead of to be more creative. We've been taught that, I have to take care of myself before I take others, or take care of others. Well, there's some truth to it, but not that much. We're all one, period. And that means that we should is not the word I like. You don't want to should on yourself, but let's put it this way. It's a good idea for everybody to start being more compassionate and loving everybody else. The ignorant, the aggressive, the traumatized, they are just calls for help. Once you understand that, things change. By the way, this concept, I believe, is in Conversations with God by the book by Neil Donald Walsh. I believe it's in that book. He talks about that as well. And, if you want to move up in consciousness, then knowing that we are all one is primordial for your, for enlightenment or for you to pursue this spiritual path. Does that make sense, Anu?
Yes, it does. It does. The only question is like, how do you prove your own self in today's world if you're going to consider everybody equal? Because we have to, put ourselves forward, and I know I do understand, like, not to hurt somebody, not to be, but being competitive or being, there to prove yourself is so important. And I think sometimes these things come to play.
Yeah, sorry, I know we got cut off a little bit, so excuse me, I apologize. Are you with me?
Yes, I am.
So
yes, I am.
I heard the part of your question. So I would say we are taught to be competitive or maybe even aggressive to prove ourselves. You have nothing to prove to anybody. Okay. Once you know who you are, that willing to prove yourself or make it, quote unquote, in the world completely disappears. You're working from the heart now, from a heart-based consciousness, not from an ego-based consciousness. And again, no matter what, you want to be kind to others, right? You want to be kind to yourself first.
Definitely.
Okay, but I mean, I'm not seeing a lot of kindness in my area because people are living in fear. Fear brings anger, and anger brings guilt, and it shoots you down that tunnel of negativity. Now, I'm not saying that there's not a reason maybe for most people to be fearful and angry. There is. People are dying. economically, financially, it's very hard in Lebanon. The bank system has collapsed.
Totally. Yeah.
But the conscious person is always serene and peaceful no matter what. Always. You see, this is one of the beliefs. Let's talk about this. I mean, for example, eternal life brings eternal peace. Now, are you sure that after you die, that you're going to be bathing in love? Yes.
Yeah.
If you're still wondering what's happening after you die, you have not done the work. You've not done the psycho-spiritual death and rebirths with shamans or in breath work or with plant medicine work or with hypnotherapy. And I deal with all of that. That's my work. It's been this work for a long, long time, for decades. And I'm coming from far, if I dare say. I was not always pretty serene. I was, you know, a basket case because of my childhood. But the point is, anybody can do it. If I've done it, anybody can do it. Does that mean I'm a saint? No. But it does mean that I catch myself very fast when I'm getting upset or when I'm getting too sad or I'm getting too, or feeling too guilty about something. I catch myself fast. There is room for all emotions, but not for excess emotions and not for limiting beliefs and not for limiting thought patterns. No, we're better and bigger than that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, I think that was great explanation.
Thank you. And
yeah.
Well, again, I just want to repeat, I'll be in Dubai on the 4th of March. So if you want to, you know, take this course into depth, just take 3 sessions with me and we'll do that. Okay. Anybody else? Does anybody else have any questions? So let me check here if I got some more questions. Well, thank you. Thank you all. And hope to see you in Dubai soon. And God bless. There is hope. Thank you. And take care, everybody.